not even that they're afraid to. It's I don't think they can play anything but, right? They're going to open up here with, you know, mirror composition almost, it looks like. You know, TFE running the Doomfist, though, whereas GZA going to continue with the McCree Hanzo.
Yeah.
So bunker comps galore here on Sanctum. It's a map which you can kind of poster up, you know, and expect craziness here as Ming comes in all the way on the Hanzo trying to find some value.
Maybe a little bit too aggressive, so MG is just going to find that early kill. But TFV has got themselves a bit of position on the point with Orisa. GZA here just looking for kind of a window to push in through. Flower taking a lot of chip damage. That's what GZA's got, you know. Both these teams have a ton of long range damage, so just expect them to be playing those angles. Nero going to be on a bit of a flank, finds Flower, and the man advantage is in favor of the GZA right now, but the res is going to come back through. MG finds Orisa here, and now you're just seeing Nero try and kite the Doomfist around, but it's not going to work. He will eventually go down in the mercy of Sentries all alone. Flower going to score yet another kill. GZA, they do cap the point, but they're losing members very fast in this backline fight. Now we're going to go down next, so this is going to be TFE with the recap here.
Yeah, this is a really awkward thing. I'm interested that GZA is going to run the McCree rather than the Widowmaker. Those of you who are familiar with the World Cup will know, you know, the Spec Mui thing that went on for quite a while because, you know, he played a pretty interesting Widowmaker here, and now it just this is the stall out coming. I think they're going to get the Resurrect up. So the fact that McCree here, a very popular character, is very interesting to me here. MG kind of ignoring the damage coming in from his backline.
Yeah, this is really interesting. I thought TFE was going to be able to cap that, but no, not quite yet. And Ming going to go down once again. Valkyrie out there from Jimmy, but it's going to wear off soon. TFE, they have ultimates in the bank, though. GZA does as well. Flower with yet another Dragon Strike and the damage. There you go. MG takes a big chunk of it and goes down. And, of course, you're just seeing Flower here get the rest of the kills off the back of that Dragon Strike. Maui does find Nico here, but... Again, TFE, they really need to cap this point very soon. Yeah,
they're getting a ton of kills, but they're not playing on the point, so it doesn't really matter. Like, you know, Ming is kind of...
Come on.
There we go. Where we get... No, MG's still there. It doesn't matter. Yeah.
This is just a great stall game that GZA is playing right now. MG finally going to be DMAC. Can they kill him? And can they cap this point? No, he's just chilling out. He's set up a nice home there. You know, you're going to see... a tent gets set up in a campfire very soon. Finally, he goes down. Flower finds him. TFE still has not capped the point.
Yeah, no, it literally doesn't matter. Crazy. It doesn't matter that they... Oh my goodness, this is insane. They're just going to keep rotating the... Oh, okay.
There we go. They capped it.
They finally capped it.
They capped it. Let's go. They capped it. Well done, TFE.
Yeah,
very
TFE
nice.
finally coming through, but it's at the 83% mark, and now, you know... For all the faults that GZA has, it does not seem that understanding where the point is one of them. So I would hope that, you know, on this retake with Orisa is very tough because you're such a slow, immobile tank, right? The Halter combo comes through, Nero goes down, and that's gonna have to be a reset here for GZA as they yet again, that's a very clean pick off. So it's all she wrote for that fight.
Yeah, pulled pork, gentlemen. Very, very tasty and works well in Overwatch if you can execute it. TFE doing it just fine there. And Flower with another Dragon Strike here. He sees everybody with that Sonic Arrow. Is he going to toss it in is the question.
Yes, he will.
A little bit of a mini grab there as well with the Hull, but everyone just kind of sidesteps that. No, it's like a Matador. Nero going to return with one of his own here, trying to find some damage under the point. Orisa takes a bit of it, but fortifies up. Kino going to be able to, of course, heal up. Ming dies first. Rise finding that kill. Ming has died first in a lot of these fights, but he's going to be able to get res out here.
He got res inside of the team, man. Yeah, oh my.
I'm not sure what's going on, but Jimmy just dodging everybody with that Valkyrie, apparently. Kino just drops it from behind. He does not even care. TZ finds the kill onto him. 70% rising here for TFE, and over TZ goes into the well. There's going to be the recap that comes through from GZA. Everyone from TFE just kind of gets off of the point for the time being. Nero dives into the backline and finds the kill onto Nico. Tosses in another Dragon Strike onto the point. Orisa just taking a little bit of flip damage from that. 95%. GZA finally looking like they're going to be able to 100-0 this after a very, very strange first map, shall we say. Meteor Strike's going to come through. Ming looking for just a little bit of an extra stall here. 31% on the point for them if they can recap, but it's not looking too good. The prognosis for TFE is probably that they're just going to drop this first map. And yep, there it is, 171%. TFE, they should not have let that fight go on, that first fight go on.
It took them so long to get a composition that would define as good, right? They're running the McCree instead of a Widowmaker.
Yeah.
You know, McCree doesn't have that good sightlines here. You know, he's pretty slow. He doesn't have the same insta-kill potential. He has to be very cautious about how he engages.
Yeah.
I don't understand why you run McCree there instead of Widowmaker. I don't understand the win condition, right? Maybe they scout out the Doomfist, but then the Doomfist just kind of avoids the McCree the whole game long anyway. I don't understand. I'll be honest with you.
Yeah.
But that's gonna be it for Sanctum. So we will move on and put it out of our minds as we come into Village here. And at least initially, it looks like GZA running with the quad DPS or the triple DPS.
Very interesting. You know, different looks for both these teams. Hey, depends on the map, right? But interestingly enough, TFV, right, still running this Heurix composition with this pulled pork. You know, they like it.
Ming scouts out the fact that it's triple, and I think is he gonna stay with the Doomfist? There's not really a whole lot he can engage on, if I'm being honest with you. So he's still gonna go for it, but it's gonna be a struggle.
Yeah, Nero gonna find that first kill. Kino down already, and just a lot of aerial damage coming through here from Nero, and of course Sentry on that Mercy. Ooh, Nico tries to find the headshot, gets a body shot, but that's all he's gonna be able to find here. Ming dives in, gets the punch onto TZ on that Wrecking Ball. Sentry just kind of standing in the point. All right. Oh, you're gonna find that kill in the flower, and they trade back and forth. TFE with the man advantage here, looking to finally cap things out, and Ming on a bit of a killing spree.
Now, the expectation is that Doomfist doesn't really have a way to engage on these squishy heroes, but apparently I'm wrong about this because the Pharah was the easiest kill of them all. And Ming comes in, the cleanup is there, and TFV are going to take the point here. GZA now they're going to have to reset here. They have to reapproach, you know, their thought process, and Nero's going to switch over to the Genji. So no Pharah available, but yeah, I guess you know, the Widow make it a little tough for him to play where he wanted to.
All right, well, we're going to see here Ming find that first kill onto Nero. We cut over to see his untimely demise. And with TZ gone as well, she's going to be TFE just getting 3-point percentage.
Yeah, and here now GZA, realistically, you'd expect them to switch up a little bit. Yeah, Winston comes in. Mui going to stick with a Tracer, though. You know, MG over to the D.Va. So now we just have good old Tracer Sombra dive here now from Nero. Again, you need to find a way to engage. Doomfist in the backline. The hack doesn't come through because it was, you know,
nice
interrupted.
punch.
Oh,
good finish.
My. Yeah.
Gonna go for the Meteor Strike as well. Diving in, trying to find damage. He sees the Ana, goes in, almost gets the kill. D.Va gonna body block the rest of that damage. So Ming might go down. No! Snags the health back. And TZ falls on the side of GZA here. Speaking of, you know, LaFon, you're saying Zed. GZA, they got Zed on that point right now.
Very true, and they don't really seem to have a plan of attack either. You know, TFE are kind of just existing right now, taking 1v1 skirmishes, and GZA are not really finding a way into the point. They're not really finding an entryway, and here now, the nano boost onto Tizzy, you'd expect a kill at least to come through. Nothing so far.
There you go. Finally finds Nico with it, but he's in the back line and just gets punched right to the team. The waiting arms of a reset in Kino. Now Ming looking for more kills here. Is going to get the D-Mech onto MG and then finds it. Meteor Strike out. Looks for Mui, but he doesn't find him quite yet. Finds Nico with it. Dives in. We'll go down to that whole hog from Kino there. So 99 and 100. Never mind, it's overtime. So there you go. Sentry's gonna get killed here, and this will just be TFB taking the second map, so it's all evened up here, 1-1. Rise just giving Ming, you know, perhaps a well-deserved rest. Played very well that map, gotta say on that dude.
Flower switched off of the Hamzah to the McCree at some point. I actually totally didn't even notice. That was an awkward map for GZA. The expectation is I don't know. We're gonna have to see here what GZA are gonna bring out, because it looks like the 3-3 coming through here on Shrine.
Well, this is the map for it.
Yeah. Meanwhile, TFE gonna continue to run their outrageous, outlandish compositions. Although,
Torb.
Man, you see, normally I would say no, but with this team, you actually don't know. So
exactly. You truly do not know until the gates are open what they're gonna play. Even with the gates open, right? See, they just make 2 swaps right there.
Yeah, Mercy coming through for Jimmy. Flower now on the Tracer. Okay, so we've got compositional differences here. 3-3 versus DPS, and we'll see what Ming is capable of accomplishing. But halt and hook combo, not there this time.
Yeah, and it's going to be hard for Ming to find, you know, opportunities here on this Doomfist because of just the very compacted nature of 3-3. They can block so much of the damage that comes out through him. And Rai's going to get that first kill onto Flower. Ming dives in from the side, looking for the Reinhardt. Can't quite find anything yet. Goes for the Lucio, but just gets spooked away. Has to retreat back to his team. Flower swaps over to the Ashe. TFV looking for a lot of long-range damage and fears, but Ming gonna get knocked down onto the ground there, collides with the Brigitte, and this will be TFE getting pushed back.
Man, Nero is kind of struggling right now. Has been at 0 energy this entire map, and you can kind of tell it because he's only at 34% grab charge. That's pretty low. He's equal to the Lucio Sentry, who's been on speed this entire time. So passive healing has really been, you know, or passive damage buildup has really been the case for Nero thus far. The only thing though is TFE can't really engage into a 3-3 because they have no real burst potential. So yeah, it's really the fact that compositionally, GZA have the better team right now.
Yeah, Ping just kind of moves right past the team. Unfortunately, was looking for a target, moves in with a rocket punch on the side. Nice knock up. Can they follow up through with it though? And TFE will not be able to. That's kind of the bane of playing these Heurix comps, right? It's so hard to engage, but Ming just gonna do that with the kill onto Mui, and he dives into the back line looking for the Zenyatta of Rise, but he's gonna be able to be kept alive. Narrow finding that, and what is this? Gimme, you madman! Dives in, Rise, he forces out the Transcendence, so, I mean, hey, that's value, and he scores the res on it too. Jimmy does not care. This man will disrespect your team on the Mercy any day, you name it. But Kino knocked down onto the ground by that Earth Shatter from TZ. GZA will hold on to the point for the time being.
Just solo grab him. I'm sure there's nothing wrong with that. Oh,
that was a fight and a half.
It was literally one fight, actually. The fight started at the very start of this round, and it has not ended until just now. So
you are correct.
Okay, so 80% and counting now. GZA do have the Graviton Surge as Kino switches over to a Reaper. We've seen this from this man before, but he gets like almost knocked off the map as he tries to like teleport in.
I was afraid for my boy for a second. If he got knocked over the edge, man, rough.
It would have been very amusing. Bob through.
Bob on the field. Hey, he's still on the point, right? Bob, if you want to get in, Bob's gonna do it. He does not care. He will sacrifice himself any day of the week and then come back about, you know, minute and a half, 2 minutes later, dives away. Thank you, Bob, for your service. Flower, though, gonna be the first kill. Once Bob is gone, Flower doesn't really have much in the way of staying alive. Graviton Surge comes through. Main caught on the outside, but the energy is so low. He just can't. They just stare at each other for a brief moment. Brief ceasefire. Well, I guess not a ceasefire on the side of Nero. He was trying to kill him, but he couldn't find anything. But GZA, they just have total point control right now. Rise finds Nico, and hey, everybody just gets off the point. So GZA just takes that 1-2-0, and they get that first map. Nice start for the GZA, right?
Nice is not the word I would use to describe it, but at least it's a start, right?
A start. You
take the map victory where you can get it, and
they don't start running. They might start, you know, a little bit crippled, perhaps.
Sure.
But,
yes.
Hey, it is what it is.
I mean, in fairness to Nero, by the way, the energy differential has been pretty low for him because it's tough to get energy against a composition that just doesn't do anything.
Exactly.
And for TFE, the sort of idea is just to sort of exist until someone falls out of formation. You pick them off with either the Ashe or the Widowmaker or the Reaper, and you know, or the Doomfist, and then you sort of go from there. GZA though just sort of stand around and no one really falls out of formation, so the point just kind of like ticks over to GZA and therefore the maps. Interesting showing so far from these two teams.
And Panda, you were sitting there, you were watching all this go down. Let's hear your thoughts for a brief moment.
Yeah, I was watching. I was trying to analyze as much as I possibly could. I mean, what I mostly took from this, LaFon already elaborated perfectly during the cast too. You can see some of these highlights coming through on your screen. Anywhere that you see TFE finding value is in these isolated skirmishes. This entire composition flourishes in the isolation of targets, which is why they did so well on Village. When this team of GZA or GZA, however you'd like to pronounce it, are playing this well against an isolated target is when they find value, aka not clumped up together. So when you end up going over to Shrine and you're facing that 3-3 of GZA, it doesn't matter how uncomfortable Nero is on Zarya. You don't need charge at the end of the day. As long as you have presence on the point, those trades don't matter. As long as they play group together and they deal with these targets effectively, they don't let those 1v1s always happen. You can let the Valkyrie go away and you can let Rise let the Trance get baited out because they had a Moth in front of their face. That's fine. Because they always had presence on the point, they always had resources to cycle through. They always, they never really budged off the point. So, I mean, 100-0, kind of just go ahead and top that up to why DPS doesn't work against 3-3, especially in this current patch.
LaFon?
Yeah.
Any thoughts from you?
Not much else other than that. Yeah, I fully agree with Panda on this one. So, GZA, though, they're going to have to try and I think they're going to have to clean it up a little bit if they want to keep this, get their first win here in Contenders China.
All right, well, Hopefully they do clean things up, but we ourselves are going to be going to a quick break though. We'll be right back after this. Do not go anywhere. And we are back. GZA versus TFV. Blizzard World going to be our next map, hybrid. LaFon.
Yeah.
This is perhaps their best chance for TFV.
Yeah, TFV, actually, this is the first... So TFV are not map lists, by the way. They have actually taken a map off of a team. That was Flag Gaming, as I mentioned at the top of the broadcast last week. So expect, I think, TFV's composition here to be probably the strongest they're going to look on this particular matchup. So the expectation, if they're going to take a map, here's where it's going to come in. And Blizzard World is the look, obviously. So, you know, one thing we're gonna try and see here is if they're gonna continue to run this Orisa composition, or if they're gonna continue, you know, sort of run the hog, or you know, or the DPS coming through. So, up to this week, they've only run really just all DPS plus 1 tank plus 1 support. So, and it's gonna be, you know, sort of the same thing here as no hog. Coming out for TFV. GZA though, scouting out, they're gonna run the Sombra Tracer dive into this.
And I mean, if you think about it, right, this is actually a map where bunker comps can work really well. So TFV, you know, there's definitely an opportunity for them to have a nice, solid hold here on first point. But yeah, time will tell.
Yeah, one of the things too about TFV, and this is not a knock against them at all, is that teams will oftentimes not put full resources into studying up for a match, right? MG going so very low there. It's taken out by Flower, but so you can sometimes see the lack of preparation comes up against TFV, and TFV can take advantage of that if it were to come through to that sort of play.
Yeah, I mean, I remember last time, you know, I was casting these guys. You know, it was just a lot of time. How do you prepare for this? Oh, nice shot there by Nico, by the way. Whew, that was nasty. But how do you prepare for this, right? How do you scrim against this? You know, I'm looking for scrim partners. Could you play 1 tank, you know, 1 support, 4 DPS comps? No, who's gonna do that, right? Unless you are TFV. So it's so hard to prepare for this.
Yeah, I know it is indeed. So, you know, GZA, they're looking for that engage, and I think here now against the Widow Hanzo Doomfist, it's so tough to engage against because if you walk in, you're either gonna get sniped down, like just like that. You're gonna get sniped down by the Widowmaker, or the Doomfist is gonna be in your backline creating havoc that you have to peel off. a little tactical.
They're having a great time. They're just dancing, you know. They really love this this background music playing in Blizzard World.
It's yeah, so it's gonna have to be a reset here now as Mui coming in looking for that Sombra. Interesting to note too that he's joining in a little bit there with the
yeah.
Oh, is scouting out the Sombra. Nothing found yet.
Oh, Nico, though, does get hacked here. He is able to get that the grapple away, though, from danger. TZ does find that first kill, though. Nano Winston, not a force that you want to reckon with. Flower going to be rezzed back up. TZ takes a big chunk of damage, has to Primal Rage his way, and knocks Nico into the water. You'd think Widowmaker could swim, but no, she can't. Ming finds Rise there in the backline. Kino goes for the Death Blossom and catches Nero on the point, and MG as well. Kino popping off there. Is it enough, though? Can TFE hold on? Seems like they are going to be able to.
Well, it's Ming and Kino left on the point, and just Tizzy, who's the one who can contest them. So the monkey without a Primal Rage here, kind of switch against these two particular heroes, and yeah, you can already see Tizzy very low.
Scores that kill.
Yeah, he does score the kill, but it might not be enough. They do resurrect him right back up.
Yep. So he is there. EMP available for GZA, so they can try and pop it in. They're going to use it. 3 members caught. Flower not going to be caught in it, though, so he uses the Dragon Strike right up to the point. Nico, 1 clipped by Nero there, who's got the pulse bomb. Might want to dive in, toss it onto Orisa here, but no, just goes for the headshots, gets the melee finish, and Flower. It's all falling apart now for the TFE. GZA will be able to take this point. 45 seconds left on the clock, though. You know they would have liked more time.
And it's still not all sold. They can still stall it out a while. Ming hasn't died yet. He's still causing as much hassle as he can. Finally gets taken away, but now Nero is going to, you know, continue patrolling around the background, around the outside there with the Tracer. Forced a recall. Good body shot there from Flower. So another reset here for GZA. They're going to have to play a little bit more passively. Again, Team for Victor are playing this like a bunch of isolated skirmishes. So it's not a real team fight per se, and I feel like GZA is kind of struggling in that regard. Yeah,
you know, that's kind of their style, right? That's how they play. TFE just takes these 1v1 skirmishes, and Nero gonna win that one out. But hey, once again, their boy Jimmy is there for the res, so Ming gonna just be brought right back into the fight. Granted, they won't have the res for the rest of the fight. Ooh, Mui! And now a 1v1 situation with Ming here on the Doomfist. 71 HP, translocates back to the health pack, but Ming will get that final blow. He will win this round. He's your champion. TZ though, with the Primal Rage on the front line, Nano Primal Rage even is able to secure 1 kill on the Flower. Kino gonna be slept in the back line though. TZ still trying to find damage here, but that Reaper doing a lot, as well as the Doomfist. Ana barely able to keep him alive, and he's able to escape, but TZ are not getting point progress, and with 2 minutes left, they really need to start getting it moving.
Yeah, keep in mind, Heurix actually had the Supercharger used, so that's one of the reasons why the Reaper was even more deadly than before. And the Rocket Punch and all that, so TZ had to be very, very careful with what he came in. Nico now on the Tracer to units on the Mirror Nero. Rise has been having a hell of a game, all things being considered, because he's been basically isolating this background all by himself. And
TFE just kind of obliterating GZA right now, mopping the floor with him. You know, it is after all an amusement park. You need janitors, and that's basically what TFE is doing.
No, gonna be a reset now. MG trying to get off the map, trying to get the reset with his team. Gonna get killed there. Nico coming in with the final blow. I want to give a highlight to Rise, because I think Rise has been the best player on GZA today. Because you know, he's playing he's playing a very static hero. He's playing a hero that, you know, kind of falls to flankers a lot, and instead has actually stayed alive quite a bit. So, you know, Rise definitely a bright spot right now for GZA this season.
Oh, this is gonna be a nasty Dragon Strike, but never mind. I'm gonna eat my words there, because it wasn't. It just found nothing instead. Bomb comes in, gonna remake. Nope, gonna be finished off there by Kino's Death Blossom, and Ming will secure yet another kill and an arrow. It's just TFV, you know, at this stage of the point, it seems like this 1v1 skirmishes are just, you know, the most optimal. And Kino, that was a very, very risky shadow step.
It feels almost like that. Oh, the Rise gets taken out right there, unfortunately for him. But it feels almost like GZA don't know what they want to run. They don't know how to engage against this composition.
Confused.
Yeah, and now you see here it's going to be a switch up again, as Mui is going to switch over to the Brigitte, likely because of the Tracer, but it's just so much that is just loose here. And Nico now going to switch over to the Vara. So
what are you going to do against this?
Back and forth, yeah.
What can you do against that beyond the Ana? And Rise has to focus all his attention on that, but then while he's doing that, of course, his tanks are just getting shredded by the Doomfist and by the Reaper, so it's just lose-lose for GZA right now. Soundberry gonna come through, Sentry tossing it down, Narrow, taking a bit of a 1v1, as TZ does find Flower on that front line. Nico, however, still dealing damage. TZ gets yet another, might be the carry here that they need in this fight to get this cart moving. Nico taking a whole lot of damage, Supercharger out from Orisa here. Mui, though, gonna be the one to take that one down instantly, so that Ultimate's not gonna find anything, and TZ finds yet another kill. That's 3 in this fight. Rise finishes off Ming. GZA, they get the cart moving, but Nico, if he can get a barrage here, might be an opportunity to retake, but no, Narrow deals a lot of damage to them. Dragon Strike comes out. Flower finished off yet again. TZ adds yet another name to his list. Narrow finds Jimmy there. GZA, they have completed it, so they will be moving to the 3rd point with about...
Yeah, GZA do capture that 2nd point, but again, this comes down to now TZ has to get 4 or 5 kills before the cart starts moving, and a good sleep there. So, like, it feels between Rise and TZ, this team is halfway to a composition, but then the rest of the team just doesn't move forward. It kind of feels that they're left out.
It's very disjointed.
Very disjointed, yeah. Communication seems to be a huge issue for this team already. Ming going for a very, you know, aggressive play.
And he's like, all right, you know, maybe that was a little too crazy. We're going to back off and move into the side room there. Really only using Meteor Strike to escape that because he was in a bad position. And you're going to see the barrage from up top. Mui scored first. Death Blossom comes in. And there are all the kills. A burst of them for Team for Victory. GZA pushed back once more.
Yeah, I mean, there's no sleep dart there because Nico was slept by Rise, so you only have 1 sleep dart. And that means that you cannot stop both the Reaper and the Pharah. You know, I feel one of the players that we were so high on last season was MG, because we felt that he had really woken up after, you know, the unfortunate situation with Shanghai. But this season, it has not been his strength. He has been struggling in this match already, and just really not having a good game so far.
Yeah. GZA, though, going to engage with that rally. Hopefully, you know, MG and the rest of the boys on GZA can step things up here, because there's only 5 seconds left, and they still need to push that card a considerable distance here. Oh, Nero on the flank there and just gets shut down absolutely by Ming. There you go. TZ diving in the back line, finds the first kill into Flower. Opportunities here, but they trade back and forth. Jimmy brings Nico back into the fight as Kino falls to MG's self-destruct. Orisa battered around, knocked around, kind of what happens when you're their main tank in this meta. Ming dives in to the front line, deals a big chunk of damage, but can't quite get the kills. Does get the D-Mech onto MG. So, Bit of a man advantage here for TFE, and of course the spawn advantage is there as well. Rise gonna be bullied now by Ming. Narrow gonna be able to avoid that rocket punch, but Rise not quite so lucky. OT on it. Ming waiting for his abilities to come off. Cool down, and nobody's on the point. So TFE just kind of stop it out there, but granted, there is, you know, a bit of a buffer. Panda, I know you're very eager to come on in here, so come on in. Tell us what you thought of those games.
Well, that first round, it kind of goes back to control, right? I mean, I can hear it in your voice, Lafon. GZA just need to go 3-3. It doesn't matter how good you are at Zarya at this point. It's just the only place where they're going to find value in it. This is where TFE want. You saw it right on the opening engagement. So long as you're just barreling yourself down these corridors, even secluding yourself, isolating yourself, is where they're going to end up punishing you time and time again. I don't think going DPS against DPS for Team for Victory is going to be the play here, Chief. I just don't. I don't believe it. All the way through second is where you found their most success, right? Is where you ended up seeing Mui end up going over to Brigitte, and that's where you're going to see a lot more. You're able to punish a lot more flankers, so that way the main tank, Tizzy, and MG, the off tank, don't have to worry about the backline as much. You already highlighted wonderfully. Rise's positioning is great, but it's still taking away from what MG can be doing on the Diva role. Instead of keeping the backline protected, can then dive in assassin, play that assassin role with Tizzy, the main tank for GZA Academy. That putting Mui on the third support is the play. You have to have that backline support so that way the dive can come through and punish these isolated targets such as Flower, who's on the Hanzo, and be able to take the fight from their backline and meet it in the middle with your triple support. It seems to be the play here. I just think they need to complete it all the way through. Give yourself double support or double defensive ultimate with the Zenyatta for Rise, along with the rally as well. And Nero, even though the Graviton Surge charge might be low, you're still going to need it eventually.
All right, thank you very much, Panda. On, come back on in here, and we're gonna get right started. TFE once again on the attack.
It's going to be real interesting here as GZA setting up a high ground 3-3 defense as Panda looked for. And now we're going to sort of set up the halt coming through, no hook available. But they're just going to fall off the high ground anyway and kind of set themselves up. Going to walk in. A couple of kills early on, Rien. All right. Yep. I mean, it's been a pretty quiet fight. Like this is not a whole lot happening here. In all honesty, like it's just a good old 3-3 fight, kind of brawling away. Nika's gonna fall down here, and it's gonna be the halt come in, but MG should stay in mech here. Has to reload. Self-destruct use. Not sure about that one there as they come through. A couple of kills coming up yet again, and finally GZA gonna fully reset here as TFE has to walk back to their spawn and now reset totally. And yeah, again, Rien, it's gonna have to be, you know. I think here now, taking this high ground away from TFE, but again, TFE gonna swap up here. They're gonna have to play a little passively coming in through here.
And passive is the name of the game here for both these teams. And Rally comes through at the start of this fight. You know, we're seeing more interesting compositions come through here.
A couple of kills. Nico finds one pick off, but it's not. I don't think it's going to be enough here. It comes in the Sentry, so very weak. Gets out, not for very long. Taken down now with the supercharger. It looks like Team for Victory going to, you know, take control of this point here, buy themselves a good time bank coming into Streets phase, and it's going to have to be, you know, Nico continues to spam out MG here. MG kind of looking for that early play.
Yeah.
And Transcendence forced. Oh,
Meteor Strike comes through, trying to maybe find a kill here, drops down over onto the top, but TZ does find Kino there, and Ming able to secure these kills, but is it going to be enough? Team for Victory, they do cap things out, so there we go.
Not only this fight should have been won by GZA, but again, it's just Ming being completely uncontested. Back and forth, but Ming has consistently been allowed to do what he wants. That back line, Mui kind of just not playing the Brigitte correctly means that the Doomfist is going to have so much value. Finally, Mui comes in close. This has been the highest charge Nero has been at all game, by the way. Like, even across 2 maps, the Zarya has just not been a success for GZA. And though he does have the Graviton Surge, I feel like we don't have a combo for it. And
yeah, exactly.
Everything has just been kind of it's been quite honestly a mess. I think for GZA, it's been a rough season so far, and it looks like it shows no sign of stopping.
Yeah, barrage available as well for Nico here if he so chooses to toss it in. Ming once again just diving into the backline, gets stunned up even, but there's no follow from GZA, and Nico just gonna obliterate Rise in the backline, grab in, but it just knocks under the shield there. You see
that's a microcosm. That's a microcosm of this match, man. Yeah.
Yeah,
it's a grab that really should never happen, and it just comes down to the fact that everything that could be going wrong for GZA is, you know, even though they do take that map victory, it was not consistent. It was not, you know, it was not convincing. And Team for Victory now looking. You know, when we said at the start of the season, you know, one of the expectations we had for GZA is communication is going to be an issue early on. We knew that.
Yes.
But we were hoping that by the second week mark or so that they would be able to sort of set up for a decent showing. And against TFV, this is a team that, you know, if you're wanting to make playoffs, this is a team you have to be beating pretty
right. Arisa drops down the supercharger to start things off. Beat comes through from GZA as the Dragon Strike is looking to chunk out the rest of that meteor strike in the backline. MG! Oh! Very nice from Ming there. Gets left, but it doesn't matter because he's right back up again. Just barely canceled out MG's remake there, which, you know, might have given GZA a better chance of winning out this fight, but Ming once again just dives into the back line, right back to the front to finish off TZ. And Century doing his best to kind of dance around the point here, but as the music's gonna end eventually and Arisa finds that kill onto him, MG dives in, takes a huge chunk of damage in his DMAC. It will be GZA, you know, just being driven back to that third point by TFB, but the shatter comes through from TZ, but there's just not enough follow-up. It's just desperation stalls from them at this point. As Century's back on it again. Nero goes down, and they will cap it.
Yeah, at least you're going to the third point here, where the 3-3 is probably the strongest on this map, and if you're gonna play, everything about GZA screams lack of coordination, though, to me, Rien. The remake for MG, he has not gotten a significant amount. You know, in most games, the D.Va should be able to remake by themselves. They should not need, you know, they should not be getting caught out every single time, and it feels like GZA just not giving him the opportunity to really set up for it. I'm not sure, you know, if there's the EMP, catches everyone, but it's, you know.
Ming almost canceled that there.
He did.
He almost got that rocket punch off in time. Would have been a massive play, but the EMP lands and TFE just gonna, you know, wisely retreat.
Yep, it's gonna have to be a reset now for Team for Victory. But you know, again, you're setting up this wall. They have the infra site. They know what's gonna happen here. They know who's available.
Well, there you go. Right into the back line. Good anti-nade onto TFV. However, Flower finds 2 kills. Rise gonna go down. He tries to get the stun onto him, but he was still in that invulnerability.
Yeah, he just misses the stun. Unfortunate there, but now it's 2 minutes remaining, and GZA don't have any real way of contesting this last point. They're still running the Ana. They're still running, you know, they used the EMP. They used, you know, they're not close to self-destruct or Earth Shatter, and they're not going to. Tizzy's gonna have to switch. Because this is last fight. 2 minutes remaining. I mean, this is GZA hasn't lost the map yet, but it's looking very, very dire.
It is. They really got to come up big here with the play, and they're going to try to do that with the Nano. Winston looking for kills, but Nico finds Rise at the very beginning, and so much healing is lost because of that. They've only got the Lucio of Century left, and no matter what he does, you know, it's just a flat rate unless he amps it up, and that's on such a long cooldown. So GZA, they've got really nothing left to do this, but Nero still trying to make things work. Finds the kill onto Flower there. TZ hanging up on the front line. TFB backing up just a little bit, minute and 30. They can afford to do this. TZ knocked off the high ground there. They wait for their reinforcements. So
Century's movement is so good, man. We kind of saw it from Nico's perspective. Good EMP, catches a
lot. Big one, nice anti-nade for the follow-up. There you go. That's exactly what GZA needed. They have an opportunity to actually win this.
Yeah, they buy themselves ult economy too, right?
Don't want to jinx it though.
Yeah, true. That's true. I think that's the first time that I've said that GZA had a good engagement. That looked pretty strong. You know, the EMP comes in, Tizzy comes in right after for the cleanup, and the whole team follows through. So they're still running the Sombra, you know, Winston Goats composition, but at least it's looking a little bit stronger here for them. Another halt off the high ground. MG has to be eating those. Here's that sound to engage again.
Oh, Century moves in with an anti-nade, Century moves in with that sound barrier, and the anti-nade comes in from Rise, and the anti-nades from them, it seems they finally found the formula that works. When they toss in the anti-nades, they can follow up on them really well. Kino caught it and died first in that fight, and last fight we saw how useful it was for GZA as well, so they might be making things work.
Yeah, I mean, Nico switched off to the Roadhog, so it's another, you know, halt and hook sort of look. Yeah. Rise has the nano boost. Tizzy does have this, the primal rage, so MG, you have to be eating those. You cannot let those get through.
Good major. Yeah, he finally does that, and he does take out the supercharger as well. 13 seconds left on the clock, and that time is rapidly dwindling. Kino gonna get knocked up into the corner here with so close to that rally as well. Such an important ultimate that they definitely want. Ming no trades. Rise goes down as well. Spawns are about the same. Somebody's gonna get on the point, though nobody is. So GZA, they just take it. Everyone was just so split.
Yeah.
So, all right.
I mean,
Okay.
that last fight was very. GZA was probably going to end up winning that fight out anyway.
Yeah.
If we're being quite honest with ourselves, but
you never know.
Again, it's a small story of this match so far, right?
Yeah.
Just crazy haphazard gameplay, and neither team really, it seems to be that both these teams are saying, if we don't know how we're playing, how does the enemy team know how we're playing? So
900 IQ strategies there. Panda, come back in here. I'm sure you've got much to say.
I think it's like a culmination in between what LaFon just said immediately and then what you said at the beginning of the match too. Like, how do you practice for this team? It's kind of like all the way up to the Overwatch League even. Like, you saw Atlanta Reign struggle with this heading into playoffs. Like, they had to face both Houston Outlaws and Chengdu Hunters. How do you deal with both of those effectively? How do you actually practice for both of those compositions that both heavily play in 3-3 and some DPS versus a team that just only plays in DPS and flankers? And that's what you're seeing right here. I'm more or less confused as to why OR15A is getting away with so much here. You take a look at some of the highlights here, especially, and that's probably because of it too. LaFon was highlighting it pretty well. I think that Rise was staying on Ana too long, though the positioning and the value was found finally in the final moments with the biotic grenade, like you were highlighting, Rien. It's only because MG switched the focus again from backline pressure, if not assassinating, to breaking the shields. It's the only difference that ended up coming through from the second capture point to the final moments of that map. It is so vital, especially when you're facing an attacking Orisa. I never have this conversation because you rarely even see an attacking Orisa, but when you have to break those shields. Every time you break the shield, you make OR15A move around and not be on the point, which is in that final moment where that, I guess you could actually call it a letter number because they had no shield towards the point. They couldn't get cart presence. Even setting up on that final moment, I'm going to agree with you too, LaFon. That was probably the best engagement I've ever seen. Yeah. Setting up ult economy with that 5-man EMP was definitely where they felt most comfortable. Again, it's all based around that triple support and Tizzy on the Winston. You got to keep doing it. Keep punishing the snipers that TFE are playing and finding value and keeping your backline sustained.
Yeah, I've got nothing to add to that. It's pretty clear what GZA needs to do to clean this up. And TFE, they're breaking closer and closer to, I'm trying to find that win, and GZA kind of struggling up against it.
All right, well, gonna throw over to break. It is after all halftime, but we will be back after this. So go grab yourself a cup of tea, something. Don't go anywhere. All right, welcome back. Everyone's favorite map, Horizon Lunar Colony. I know LaFon. Look at him. He's such a big fan. He loves Horizon Lunar Colony. It's just his favorite map of all time. It's
interesting because this map has actually gotten, we're going to see some interesting things on this map, right? We've seen, especially with TFV playing here, we're going to see some crazy shenanigans, I think.
Just to recap, of course, GZA are up 2-0 against TFV right now. So TFV got to get some wins. Let's get some wins on the board, boys.
Yep. Observatory. Yeah, I guess that's exactly what the Sombra is doing there in the corner.
Yeah.
As the door's unlocked, scouting out, but unfortunately picked the wrong door to look at it. So does it know that they're running Sombra Genji dive?
They lack the critical information, you could say.
TFE, though, they're running exactly what we thought they were going to run. The Sombra, Hanzo, Reaper, and Doomfist coming to play. Don't forget Jimmy, though, because he's on the Mercy.
Oh, we're out in space. Apparently, Nero he's up very, very high right now. Meanwhile, MG is gonna get that first pick onto Orisa. Kino responds right back though with that onto Rise. Nero returns back inside, only to be shot by Hanzo. And this will just be TFV. They got the mana advantage, so expect them to continue to hold on to this.
Not very much longer, they don't. No man advantage here. Again, the Resurrect isn't available, so the fact that Kino died early, and Nico as well.
Jimmy very low as well.
Yeah. Oh, Sentry gets saved by Tizzy's excellent, gets saved by Tizzy's excellent bubble for moments. And then it's going to have to be a reset here. Mui slowly popping off.
Slowly but surely.
Yeah, they're gonna stagger this one out. And Ming has just been an absolute chaos, causing absolute chaos here for GZA. And now... okay, a couple of kills here and there. And,
there we go, GZA.
They get it.
Warming up to it. Mui really popping off in that fight on Sombra, I gotta say.
He certainly was one of the more effective players for GZA, absolutely. And team for victory now, gonna set for second point, as it looks like GZA, they're gonna have GZA, Hearing you say GZA is actually pretty trippy because it just breaks my ears. So I'm gonna probably gonna end up saying that halfway through a cast anyway. Mui though does have the EMP here, so they do have the opportunity to set up and try and find a win condition here with that EMP.
For some reason, I thought Mui just blinked out of the map for some reason. I was like, whoa, but nope, he was just by that health pack. Shows you how often I go over there, you know, in game. But Mui just gonna be his life will be ended by Ming. Kind of the norm though. If you are playing that Sombra role, Ming will always hunt you down.
Ming has kind of honestly just been roaming around every single map, being the difference maker. He's like, if you can shut down Ming, this becomes a lot tougher for TFE, right? Because he's just causing so much harass, so much, chaos that you want to see, somehow it being dealt with, and Ming cannot pack him out, so they just don't, because he's patrolling the back line for TFE. Regardless, looking for the EMP, I would expect the EMP Nano Blade coming in here for GZA. They want to close it out right away.
Nano out, EMP in, Jimmy caught with it. Nero goes into the back line and looks for it, but hey, everybody's already dead. He will find it onto Kino there. Tries to find the Doom Fist of Ming as well, but he's going to use that Meteor Strike to avoid it. Booped up into the air, and the Shurikens will end him out. And GZA, nobody left on the point, so they just get that one for free. Decent timing for them. Took them a bit to get first point, but they did indeed do it. So
Horizon Lone Colony is like that sometimes, right? If you can get the good combo in, and this is where TFE kind of struggled in week 1 when they didn't have tanks. You have no point presence, especially on Assault. The place where you'd think high chaos would work the best, it ends up working the worst. Interestingly enough, so they run that hyper DPS comp, but there's no way if the Orisa gets taken out of the fight, that there's no real way to contest point, and so GZA come in, get a cleanup in that play, and it's going to be now TFE headed to their offense and trying to find some semblance of a time bank as well, and the expectation here now is that GZA, you'd expect them to run, on the first point, that sniper-esque composition because of how HLC kind of looks. But when it comes to these two teams, I think expecting the unexpected is the only way of looking at it. So only time will tell if they choose to run a standard composition or if they're going to go outside and pick up a wild card, so to speak.
Yeah, but TFV, we can probably make the assumption they're probably going to be playing that same Orisa composition that they are indeed so fond of. And, we've seen kind of mixed results from it. It works sometimes, doesn't work all the time. When Ming pops off, it works. When Ming doesn't pop off or Ming dies, it kind of falls apart. So, I personally, I'd like to see, I know your name is Orisa, but I'd like to see you play Winston.
He hasn't played anything else, just so you're aware. This entire time, he's played 2 matches. He's only played Orisa. He's going to continue to play. Yeah. Nico's on an Ana. Okay, no DPS here, so
2 supports for TFV. Wow.
Yeah, it's a rare occurrence, very rare.
Which might not be something you hear every single day. Kino here, just kind of sitting up on the point, easing the percent in, forcing GZA to drop down. It's going to be, of course, the Diva that will do that. Going to Wraithform his way out of danger. Ming dives in, gets a little bit of damage, but has to get out. Gets halted back in, though, for a brief moment. Nero actually drops a little bit low. And Kino, this goes back again. They're playing all these DPS, so they can afford to do this. They can just kind of, play very split apart. But, ooh, Nico will just take the dynamite and die. Mui, he doesn't even look. Cool guys don't look at explosions, and he doesn't even need to. He's the coolest.
Yeah, I mean, Ming is still causing havoc, though, in the background. And here now, Mui is getting those headshots in, and he's going to die, actually, because, there's no support here. GZA are allowing themselves to sort of fall apart on point. They have the better composition, theoretically, but instead, TFE are slowly eking away percentage. 65% was
Ming. It's Ming. He's just going in and out. They were 1% away from that second tick, which is a little bit unfortunate. Jimmy, somehow, I don't even understand how Jimmy finds these reses. Like, it's just, he's got something worked out as Nico just goes ahead and just slaughters the back line. And
TFE is going to take this point. There's no way they don't. Yeah,
this is a little bit crazy, but hey, that's kind of how it is in Chinese contenders. Just expect the unexpected.
Yeah. All right. 6 minutes to, there's a possibility where a snowball happens here. Nero is switching off to the Genji here, away from the Junkrat, so there is now a possibility where Team for Victory completes this map with more time than GZA does. We will see if that comes through. Ming, another early pickoff.
Trade 5v5 TZ with the nano boost here. Dives up onto Orisa. Wants to get the damage, but gets halted back down to the ground. Actually, I believe before the landing came in, so that's a lot of damage actually lost. Orisa stays alive through it all. Ming retreats back to the wonderful shield that is there as MG will frag out onto Nico. So TFV losing a lot of members, still fighting this fight, but they might finally have to back out. But that's not really a play in TFV's playbook. You know, they really just like to fight these very, very long and extended fights and just wait for their reinforcements.
Yeah, this is gonna have to be a pseudo reset, I think, for TFV.
Pseudo.
Yeah, it falls off the high ground. That halt has been causing so many problems for for GZA. Like they're just finding, like, you know, Orisa has just been doing so much work with it. MG, by the way, can eat that halt ball. It's not like he can't, it's just that he hasn't been able to. So Rise finally taking down Ming, and this is going to be a reset now for yeah,
TFV really running out of steam here, and this is something we always talk about, lafon, and you always got to bring it up, is that Orisa compositions, they have such issues with aggression and finding
it's a very static comp. Orisa's designed to be a bunker style character, right?
Yeah.
Her shield is static. She's pretty slow. Her weapon is designed for like sort of spamming down range. It's not really an attacking style tank, and instead now we're seeing it played on offense. So it's very tough to sort of set up and have anyone. And is anyone even really using the shield? Another halt off the high ground. So
yeah, Ming certainly isn't using that shield. He just dives into the backline here. He's very low. MG will pepper him out. And TFV will just kind of have to back out once again. Jimmy, somebody said pull, I'm pretty sure, and Narrow just instead of shooting Jimmy, he just uses
he shoots himself as a projectile. Yeah,
exactly.
The Genji going through
He is the ball.
Yeah, Mui goes down, but I don't think it matters here as
Ming is back.
Well, it might. Ming has been respawned, so he is still finding value. The one thing he does really, really well is stay alive, right? On this.
Yeah, that's crazy. It's
he
crazy
rotates his abilities in, and keep in mind this is not on the live patch. It's on the Contenders patch, which means that his cooldowns are higher than what you currently see on Doomfist.
Yeah.
So the fact that he's rotating them so well and providing so much trouble for GZA is very impressive. Yeah, indeed.
GZA, though, they do have the massive ultimate advantage going into this next fight. Only missing that Infrasight from Mui because, of course, just swapped over to that role, and he does find Nico there. So, hey, GZA, they've pretty much won this fight if they use these ultimates wisely. Flower actually switches over
2 tanks, yeah.
Zarya. Wow. All sorts of new looks here for TFV, but Nanoblade just gonna kind of end those dreams for the time being as the time bank is just ticking down ever more.
All right. Okay. Team for victory. They're approaching a team composition. 2 supports, 2 tanks.
Wow.
A 2-2-2.
But,
Very
I mean,
impressive here.
Kino, well, Brigitte, is she a DPS? Is she a support?
Oh, Nico switched to the Widowmaker to contest. Ah, there we go. Flower off the Zarya. We're going back to back to the tried and true. Yeah.
It was short-lived, but hey, we did see it, so that's exciting. Anything can happen here. Nico, Force does find the first pick on a Mui, but nobody really moves in, so TFV kind of lets that man advantage go to waste. You know, they really had an opportunity to push in, but hey, bunker comps, right? Hard to push in with that Orisa. Like,
yeah, bunker comps usually set for defense. Mui does not know that he's being... Oh! You can't take the 1v1 against the Widowmaker behind the shield. I guess Nico is the one beneficiary of this, but already, I guess Tizzy's just like, okay, we'll just jump behind it. Gets resurrected. I don't think you're gonna. Don't shoot at Nico, or don't shoot at Jimmy. Mui, you're not gonna get the shot off there.
Meteor strike.
His movement is too good.
Yeah, Meteor strike comes through. Narrow actually swaps over to the Doomfist himself, so we're seeing both Doomfists fighting things out, and GZA is winning the fight as Sentry gets a kill on the board here onto Ming there.
Yeah, Nero is actually a pretty decent Doomfist. Like, this is a character he plays quite a bit of, so the fact that he's playing it out here and looking impressive is not surprising to me. It's, you know, interesting to me, I think, is that GZ Academy they're not using resources to win these fights. Is you know, Mui getting a headshot there. Ooh, very close. Gets the Infrasight online now, and now knows where everyone is, sort of situated. A minute 42 remaining here for TFE on the clock as they try to take this retake.
Just walks to the headshot. He's just like fortified.
All right,
like, okay,
back to
nope,
back
never
to
mind,
back to the
never
wall.
mind.
Yeah.
This is a mistake. And no, there we go. Yep.
Very nice, very nice.
Mui just doing a great job of finding these picks really on this defense and almost ending pushes before they begin against any other team, but TFV, they're not your average team. They will still engage into these fights. Mui pops up on top. Flower hits him with a body shot. Dragon Strike comes through onto the health pack there on the side, but everyone has vacated the premises, so they won't find anything with that as TZ moves in with the Nano. Winston, he's so low. Mui will find the headshot from the side. So TZ, your efforts, don't really matter either way. A little bit unfortunately. But now TZ, opportunity, dives to the back line, looking for kills with this Primal Rage or just the displacement as Ming goes down to Narrow here. Jimmy very low. Gonna be double upon once more by TZ, but Jimmy just doing a great job of bouncing around to his different teammates, but it doesn't matter in the end because Narrow is there to eventually finish him off. The TFE, only 30 seconds left on the clock. GZA can just win out this map here.
Yeah, no, they win out the series too, right? So GZ Academy, one thing here is that Tizzy is such a fantastic main tank.
Please follow up.
Yeah, Mui, not going for the... actually, 20 seconds remaining. If they don't get the point in the next 10 seconds, the series is over regardless, because if the best they can hope for is a draw. Yeah. So, this is getting ever closer to that moment.
Come on, everybody in there. Kino finds Narrow. TFV with a bit of a man advantage here, but those health bars are getting a little bit low as TZ takes Flower out of the picture. They're trading back and forth. Meteor Strike comes through. OT on the point. It's ticking down. Somebody's got to touch. The Reaper trying to threaten Mui right now and just keep him bottlenecked into that spawn room. You finally got the first tick that comes through. Narrow moves in for the Meteor Strike. It just gets bodied into the wall by Ming. Absolutely cratered. Another rocket punch comes through as Ming dives to the backline trying to find Mui. Nico catches Century. Team for Victory, they will cap the point perhaps eventually as soon as they finish off these last few members. But oh, the point. I got a little bit scared there. We've seen that happen before. But TFE is able to get back on it in the nick of time. Kino just keeping himself alive. He doesn't need supports when he's got the blood of his enemies to feast upon. They will finally cap things out. But like you said, LaFon, the best they can hope for at this point is a draw on this map.
Yeah, so do get the win in this match in possibly the most appropriate fashion.
Yeah.
That we could see. It took 5-6 minutes actually. 6 minutes for TFE that can take the point, and now it's going to come into I think shenanigans are at play here, obviously, because Nero switches over to the Doomfist. Looks pretty good actually on it. A hero we've seen him play before. Nero has a history across multiple regions, by the way. He played in North America for a while before coming over to before being signed to the Guangzhou Charge. So you know, as an underage player, and so now playing in their academy team, looks, you know, he clearly has talent. It's just this team has had. This team has talented players, very, very talented players. Rise and Sentry are very, very good. Tizzy, obviously, history as well. He's played in multiple regions, done very well in all of them. Overwatch League as well. So this guy, he knows how to play the game, and it's clear. And MG too, right? You know, from a much maligned Shanghai Dragons to a very, very strong performance last season, where we often considered him one of the best off tanks in the region, if not the best off tank in the region. And coming into this, it's just GZ Academy. It's not that players don't have talent. It's that this team has underlying issues that just need to. The individual players are fundamentally fine, but the underlying issues are definitely showing themselves in their matches.
All right, TFV. Can they get the miracle hold? They got 4 minutes and 45 seconds to do it. The dive comes through. TZ takes a big chunk of damage and might be finished off here by Kino. Nope, it's going to be Flower with the long-range headshot playing the Soldier 76. Somebody, perhaps, that we have not seen in a very long time. And hey, together,
that's
Flower and Kino wipe the team.
Yeah. And here now, too, GZ Academy they have a ton of time, and they'll have to get 1/3 of the point too. So we know that they are most likely going to come out with the victory here eventually. The miracle hold, I don't think we've seen a hold of this length in quite some time. Like, I don't think we've ever seen it, to be quite fair with you. Halt comes through, but there's no shot, so it is nothing more than a little bit of pepper from Soldier 76.
Oh, almost got the headshot there onto Rise in the backline, but he's doing a great job of dodging those shots. Just the little AD movements, right when he's predicting when those shots are going to come through. But GZA just get 2 picks right off the bat. Nico and Kino both going down. They die together, and apparently they sync up their names. So that's Flower goes down here, as this is just going to be GZA cleaning up. Blade comes through to end things out, and that'll be that. GZA cap Horizon Lunar Colony, and they win out the series 3-0 against Team for Victory. GZA, that's perfect for them. They wanted to kind of pull ahead in those standings, and hey, they just did it here.
Yep.
TFE will go home a little bit hungry. So, Panda, come on back in. Talk to us. Horizon Lunar Colony, what did you like? What did you not like?
I think everybody finally got what they wanted coming back from the qualifier back in Ichion for Overwatch World Cup, especially from Mui, popping off on Widowmaker, popping heads, popping off. You know, yeah, spectacular at that. You know, it was what makes a good Widowmaker is utilizing grapple hook cooldown. It's the same thing that makes good Winston's the same thing. Utilizing your natural terrain so that way you can use your movement abilities reactively rather than aggressively. I mean, those skill shots and those 360 no scopes or 360 quick scopes coming from the top rope are pretty cool and all, but when you're just using terrain and actively punishing everybody from the side of Team for Victory for their positioning alone, you got to hand it to the team for TFE. On the other hand, they were more or less just giving those headshots over to Mui just from their positioning alone. And just everybody had a vendetta. They were like, no, I'm going to deal with the Widowmaker. No, I'm going to deal with the Widowmaker. But you can take a look at some of these highlights too. Obviously, it was not just the Widowmaker. It was also Dadash coming through. And this is what I mostly wanted to talk about for the defense of GZA. When they were losing on that first fight and they more or less got rolled over on point A, all they had to do was just play for the nano. It wasn't even the nano blade. So long as Rise was uncontested building these nano blades or these nano boosts, everything was possible. Also, you got to give props there. I mean, Ming was able to counter the raw level 3 from Nero with you know, their own one punch. So I mean, it's always good to see some good fighting game techniques coming in there in the middle of the game of Overwatch. But you know, at the end of the day, again, all it was just composed ultimate economy and resource usage from GZA that ultimately won out this fight. But to go back to Lafon's previous statement too, although they are winning out here, which is what we wanted to see them going forward to hopefully make playoffs, they're not looking that good along the way.
Yeah. Well, we got one more map left in the series. We will be right back after this break to bring it to you guys. Gibraltar. This is where it's all going to end. Our fourth map of the series, GZA up 3-0 against TFV. TFV can possibly score a map win here, but based on how GZA has been playing so far, it's going to be tough for TFV to do just that. We got a bit of a substitution. Yes. Only Wish coming in for Rise. What does that indicate, Lafon?
Only Wish, an odd choice because Only Wish and Sentry actually have a similar hero pool, right? They're both the main support players, so to see Rise subbing out is curious to me. Only Wish comes in. You know, those of you who have followed Chinese Contenders will know Only Wish coming in from last season as well. Okay, Halt and Hook. No one's sitting up there though, so you're gonna go back and switch.
Yeah. Such an unorthodox composition to run on Gibraltar. You know, you always see the dive here, but hey, I guess not always. We'll have to change that to almost always because TFV are running the same composition as always here.
Yep. So it looks like Sentry is going to take the position of Rise in terms of the hero selections, and then Only Wish going to play Mercy. So Mui picks up a kill. Ming going down. I think this is the first time Ming's been the first kill. He's also the first Resurrect here too, though. So yeah, it all works out.
Yeah, Ming died a lot at first on Nepal, but you know, throughout the rest of those maps, he's actually been really good at keeping himself alive. You know, better and better. It's a bit of a download map, you know. You gotta give him that much, but. Ming does find Only Wish here with a Mercy remove. That's going to make it so much easier for TFE to push in here. No resurrection, no healing. And with Sentry removed as well, GZA's got nothing in the bank to keep them alive. So it will be TFE just winning that out. GZA retreats.
It's interesting that Team for Victory is on the defense here, right? First, because, I mean, the attacker would pick the side. But I think here now we're going to see if that how far in they can go against the defensive Doomfist. Doomfist, I think, is arguably stronger on defense than he is on offense. So the fact that Ming is playing up here on the defense has given them a bit of an advantage, I think, in terms of how they go in.
Ooh, nice punch.
You can't allow that to happen.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely agree with you there. Doomfist stronger on defense because, right, on offense, you have to take ground, right? To find these flank routes like that right there that he just did, he would not have been able to do that if he was on offense because he would have had to take that ground and put himself in danger. But because they're on defense, they already own all that territory. So he could just dive in and pop off like you're seeing him do right now. Jimmy, keep him up. Saving Private Ming.
All right, a reset coming through here. GZ Academy going to have to look forward and see what they can change. Nero does have the Dragon Blade. They do have the Nano Boost, so you know what that is. It's the Nano Blade time. And
Yep.
I expect perhaps Only Wish to use the Valkyrie as well to try and keep him alive while they're doing that.
Here we go.
Oh, well, not like that, though.
Nano Blade Only Wish trades, though. Nero moving in. It's 2 for 2 kills on each side, but no, he can't quite catch Nico. Has to use the shurikens. Gives him a bit of a wave goodbye.
It's not nearly as cool, though, as getting the dash reset through him.
Right, exactly. That was pretty sick. Kino here heals up, trying to deal with TZ, who's just dodging
Very
back
nice
and forth
bubble
with that
dancing
shield,
until
but
he
just
dies,
hits him with a double headshot. Nero, though, does put an end to Kino, though. 1 minute and 20 seconds left on the clock. GZA not a bad time bank here, unless they get stalled out even further. Dragon Striker looking to do that as he moves in with the help of Ming there. Flower trying to use these storm arrows to demech the diva of MG here as he's halted off the high ground as well. But he's being harassed by Nero, who is there. Gets stunned for a brief moment by the Doomfist, but then just returns and finishes off Flower there. So GZA, you know, man advantage. They're just looking to finish things off here with this Primal Rage. Mui finds Kino. Arisa's so very low in that corner. That will be GZA capping first of all. 3 minutes.
You can kind of see how good Tizzy is at the Winston play, right? And this is why, you know, he was so highly regarded in XL2 last season, and why I think when we talk about this team, when we talk about GZ Academy, that Tizzy is one of the names that we mentioned first, because he has been fantastic despite the struggles of his team. I think as the Winston player, he's looked very, very good.
Yeah, and because they win that fight and then they push so far ahead, GZA has control of the top of the spaceship, and actually, even if TFV wanted to play top of the spaceship, they really can't, because Arisa, I don't believe she can get up there unless you play Symmetra, which would, you know,
no, you can get up there, but I don't see any reason for her to be there. You can actually just climb the boxes all the way up. It's just I don't know why you would want to. Like, why would you place an Arisa up there? It doesn't make sense. Right. Anyway, Sentry gonna go down. They're gonna resurrect. Mui gonna go down right after, and then Ming just
just decimates everybody on the Doomfist. I mean, this is what we've seen so many times throughout this match. Is he just moves in, and he just always finds these off angles, you know, to push in where no one really expects it, and he just gets kill after kill.
Yeah. GZ Academy gonna switch over. Mui's quit playing the Widowmaker. Now we're gonna see some Brigitte from him. As Nero, the Nano Blade is there. Again, remember, the Nano Blade is the thing that opened up. Oh no, this is gonna find a kill, isn't it? Yep. Yeah. Mui gets taken down. That's a reset yet again for GZ Academy, and now the Nano Blade is what opened up first point for Team for Victory, or for GZ Academy rather.
Oh, opportunity.
Oh boy.
Can
Are they gonna kill him?
Yes,
they do.
Perfect. Ming, though, just trades again,
Sentry
and they have
dies.
no Nano Boost. I can't believe this. He's still going to use the Blade, though. Nero looking for an opportunity to get a couple kills, and he finds Flower. Cuts him down with one strike, perhaps trying to find the Doomfist of Ming, but he's not going to be able to, as he pops up in the air with a Meteor Strike and drops down onto MG. Now, looking for that Seismic Slam. He's in a bit of a duel with Mount Mui, but he has to get out of there. He knows he can't win that battle for the time being, as Only Wish is going to res MG. Ming is back for more, but this second force proves too much for him to handle. And he goes down, but the whole hog, this fight is not quite over yet, as TFB is looking to push back onto GZA and push them back once more with only 1 minute left on the clock. Oh, hook comes through, bounces right off the shield of Tizzy there, drops that down at the perfect time. Maybe calculated, maybe not. Bomb comes through, Jimmy caught off the back of that. They need that Mercy. That Mercy, again, so useful in these fights, pocketing Ming a lot of the time and keeping him alive, allowing him to find a lot of that damage. We're going to see if he can still do it here without the Mercy. Nice hook from Kino there onto Only Wish, and Ming just moves in and finishes him off. And TFB, they actually do win this fight out.
Yeah, in ways that I didn't expect them to. I think that's the if there was a tagline for TFB, it's "I did not expect that." If we're being quite honest, Sentry going down yet again.
That's a good description.
And a reset coming through for GZ Academy, because now with 20 seconds remaining, Nero does have the Dragon Blade, but they don't have anything else to combo with it.
Yeah,
literally only the Dragon Blade online, whereas Ming is consistently causing havoc and still has the escape button with the ultimate.
He always has Meteor Strike, it seems. It's like it's just another ability for him. You're talking about juggling cooldowns. He juggles that cooldown extremely well. He just throws it a little bit higher than the rest of the balls, you know. But Nero trying to find an opportunity here for that Dragon Blade, as Ming is going to use that Meteor Strike we were talking about, looking for the kill onto Sentry, but he drops down in the nick of time. to keep himself alive. OT on the point. Sentry drops. Narrow looking for the blade here. Moves into the back line. Catches Flower with 1. Moves up. Looking for the kill. Gets Nico. 2 down by the blade as he finds Ming as well. Turns all of TFB into Sashimi. He's just looking to finish the rest of them off so they can finally push it to that 3rd point. Only Wish getting some kills on the board as well. Takes out his opposite number on Jimmy, and that will be the GZA pushing the card forward. TFB, can they get one more stall here? I don't believe they can. The payload is just so close, and they are guarding those doors. So there you go.
Nero doing a fantastic job in that fight, staying alive on the Genji, finding double kills, you know, making sure that he gets value out of his Dragon Blade, and at a time when Genji is not particularly viable, right? You know, the Dragon Blade is such a tough ability to get off, and Nero does a fantastic job there. So really well done. Nero, again, a very talented player. This is a player that's, you know, he's signed to an Overwatch League team. This is not he's not a bad player. You know, very, very good. It's just that it seems that he's, you know, there you go, another pick off. Does really, you know, knows exactly how to play the game. And Jimmy's got to be very careful. Can't actually resurrect because, you know, Nero gonna try and, well, I say he can't resurrect, but it's he finds a way. Anyway.
Jimmy doesn't care. Jimmy always goes for the resurrections. He has no fear. The man is just, he's conditioned. What can we say? You know, so many hours playing these support heroes. He knows sometimes you just got to go for it. You know.
Well, it's a reset now, as Ming finds another kill on Sentry, and 20 seconds remaining here again, so this is the last fight territory again for GZ Academy. They need some sort of win condition, and hey, Nero seems to have a Dragon Blade here.
All right, well, can you find value with the Dragon Blade is the question. You know, he definitely did last fight, but they're going to need more than a Dragon Blade if they want to push it all the way. Even if they win this fight, they have to push it for another team fight, and I don't know if GZA can win that team fight out when it comes down to it, as TZ is just taking so much damage here. But now, Blade comes through. He tried to find Jimmy, but he's going to be able to avoid him. Narrow goes down to Flower with the Storm Arrows, and the win condition for GZA might have just evaporated lafon. There's nothing left in the tank for them as the OT meter is just ticking down, and Nico finding kill after kill here to end out this map. D-Mech comes through. Well, no, Nico can't find all the kills. He's got to leave some for the rest of his team as Keno finishes off MG. That'll be that.
Yep. All right, so now it's gonna be, you know, GZ Academy. Their defense is set. And we'll see. We'll see what happens.
We will see. Panda, want to get your thoughts on that? GZA, you know, how are they looking? Panda, come in, Panda.
Not that great.
There you are.
To go off, I was kind of lost in how I wanted to approach this. Because on my send off, it was kind of a cliffhanger coming from Horizon. Is that GZA? They still don't look that great. Me and lafon were kind of bouncing around with this idea in between the maps itself. Is that they are relying too heavily on mechanical skill. This team play that's coming out from GZA is non-existent, probably if not 10 out of 100% so far. Their only sort of team play is built around Nano Blade, and you saw right at the end there, if the Nano doesn't go over to Narrow, hardly finds any value in it. It's more or less the damage reduction that's taken from Nano that really helps out the Genji during the Blade, in which case Narrow, again on a two-way contract, a very applicable DPS player, ends up falling short. And all that time exhausted from giving Ming too much space on first and second, you're going to see what it's going to be there. It's a win condition set in the eyes for TFE to take this last map. Would be an extreme upset and very unfortunate for GZA, again, who have to win all out. But again, GZA, they need to pick up the teamwork a little bit more. They need to work as one to really burst down these targets. We're talking about full dive here, guys. I mean, Winston, D.Va, Genji, jump on top of the same target, burst them down, defense matrix, said divers, and find value in it.
Right. Well, thank you very much, Panda. Now, we've swapped sides. TFV on the attack and A. Is this any surprise, lafon? They're playing their tried and true composition.
I think the surprise is that I mean, they're running the Roadhog, so slightly more changes coming through. Is the hook coming? Oh, hook just misses.
Just misses.
GZ Academy, they're running the double sniper here. So Nero's actually played a ton of characters here today. So, you know, despite TFV, you know, running a ton of DPS, there's not really been a whole lot of flexibility from them. GZ Academy, though, a ton of different characters being played out.
Bit of a skirmish there in that side room as Ming tries to finish off an arrow, but not much comes out of that.
Yeah, no, they're going to set up here now on blue boxes here.
There you go. There's the hook.
Nero somehow dies to, I think, the halt combo, maybe?
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
That was a nasty rocket punch there from Ming. You know, really, this guy on the Doomfist has been very, very impressive, but MG's just gonna kill him. He's about 1 HP though, so, you know, Ming can rest easy knowing he made a difference, and he's just gonna be brought right back. And that was a very, very speedy first point cap.
Oh, nice play there from
That
Ming.
was.
Ming has been a terror. This entire match, I think the highlight of this match has been Ming. He's been a very good player on this Doomfist. I'm not sure if he can play other characters, but at least with the Doomfist, it's very effective.
Yeah, you know, he plays into the 3-3. He plays into this triple DPS composition. Actually, this is 2-2-2, but he's played into triple DPS and such, and he just
Mui.
Yep,
He
Mui
just strafes across.
walks right into harm's way, and in comes Ming. You thought it was over, but it's out of the frying pan and into the fire for Mui. It's not quite over yet. Your suffering will continue as Ming goes in for the Meteor Strike to find Sentry in the back. Sleep Dart comes through, but it's just a little bit too early. Ming very low, but he's able to escape. The anti-nade comes through, but he's able to stay alive. Misses the rocket punch as the rest of the GZA is just destroying the backline. Ming doing his best, but the rest of his team just can't break through.
Right now, this is Tizzy versus Ming.
Yeah.
This is what this matchup has devolved into. It's the Winston versus the Doomfist, which can kill the other team faster. And in that particular fight, Tizzy was the one who came out on top. So yeah, GZ Academy, they stabilized for now. Obviously, that's not particularly a win condition established, but
Yeah.
we're gonna see if GZ Academy can actually refrain from falling off the top of the map there. Another rocket punch comes in, knocking Tizzy away.
Yeah.
And Ming just roaming around. He's like that. He's like a world boss, in an MMO type establishment where you're like, all right, who are we fighting today? Well, this giant character who insta-gives you and just has a lot of health.
He's definitely the boss of this gym, shall we say. But Nero moving in with the blade here. Nico down first. MG dies to the bomb. Jimmy, he saw Jimmy for a minute, but Nero's just going to walk away. He was a little bit too afraid of the Mercy Pistol, You never can be too cautious of that. It deals, really just a crazy amount of damage, but it's just him finishing off Nico there. A little bit of a spray, too. Okay.
Alternately, he's just trying to, buff the numbers of characters killed stat.
Yeah.
So, he wanted the Resurrect to come through so he could come in and kill Nico a second time. Nero.
That's actually smart play from Nero there. I like that, lafon. It's good interpretation.
3 minutes remaining. Kino going to switch to the Reaper now. So, swaps coming through as GZ Academy still continue to hold. Sentry, I'm not sure the Snap Boost is going to be applied to. Well, certainly not Nero.
Okay, they trade back and forth here. 1 for 1. Jimmy is there for the res, and yeah, there we go. Both Mercies. So just ignore everything we just said over the past 15 seconds, because it all doesn't matter in the end. The Mercies are there. Brings me back to the old Mercy meta days, but here you see Ming sneaking up onto Mui. Yeah, he was looking at the other Widowmaker, and he was not even looking at Ming, who just absolutely bodies him. Talking about that raid boss, and he's showing it right now as he moves in, almost catches Sentry, who's going to be able to stay alive, but now he's got to deal with the Genji. Rocket punches himself over to the health pack and stays alive. Jimmy's there for the healing onto him, and Nero, you see him just backing up. He does not want to fight that fight as MG D-Mech finished off by the Storm Arrow headshot. Kino catches Sentry. This is all going in TFB's favor right now. Nero just trying to find value with it, pulls out the blade. Jimmy escapes, but Nico rather not quite so lucky.
They get off the point.
But it doesn't matter because the point just gets capped. What a blade, but hey, in the end, they cap it anyway.
All for naught. It's all for naught. And then the Death Blossom too. Okay.
You better be switching, Kino, because that should not have been You're kidding me. My man, you can't just throw out your Death Blossom like that.
Listen, he was celebrating capturing the point. So.
That's true. It was his victory dance, shall we say. But
yes.
maybe a bit premature because there's still a ways to go.
Still a third of a point to go. Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
Flower finding Tizzy.
Yep.
And that gets found out too. So what goes around comes around. Ming and Nero are fighting each other in very extreme methods, and it looks like no one can really decide what they want to accomplish.
Yeah. Payload gonna get stalled out. Nano Boost tossed onto the Diva here as MG looks to kind of push forward. Dragon Strike comes out, cuts off MG's point of escape, and he's gonna be D-Mech, tosses the self-destruct out. Chills behind that Risa shield. He's not afraid. Now you're going to see the Meteor Strike come back through, try and D-Mech MG, who's going to be able to Matador his way out of that Doomfist punch. But with the rest of GZA dropping, TFE will be able to push the cart, and it's very, very close to completion here, lafon.
Yeah, and Mui's going to likely go down here. Maybe? No. Okay.
Maybe Death Blossom.
There we
Ooh!
go.
Ming,
Oh, but Ming stole the kills, and no one can touch
Kills
points.
Wonderful. TFV. They
Their
score
second map win
3-1.
of the season.
Second map win of the season. Everybody starts celebrating. See, I was perfect actually there. It was a calculated play. He throws out the Death Blossom when they cap second as the victory, and then he finishes things off with the victory dance as well.
Yeah.
Victory spin, shall we say.
Yeah. I mean, you
With
can have
that,
dances that spin. And that's,
yeah,
you know,
of course.
pretty common
It's called
in dancing.
breakdancing,
Ballet.
guys.
Oh, well, we went in very different directions with that. I was thinking, I had the Pink Reaper in mind, you know.
I mean, with how
yeah.
edgy Reaper is, I mean,
Yes.
you know, you could put a couple of opportunities there.
The edgiest of ballet, I suppose. You know? They
Yeah,
are
that-
shows at the end of the day. If you've never gone to see a ballet, it's like a whole show. I've been to a few myself. I'm not afraid to admit it to. It's really entertaining. I mean, there's some pretty out there ballets that would Reaper would probably fit into. I can only imagine. But
You have to be very talented to be a ballet dancer, so I would assume.
Yes,
You know,
yeah. To dance in general.
True,
I mean,
true.
here we are in esports, but think about being a dancer. Anyway, I gotta talk about
Speaking
just,
of skill.
Yeah. Skill? Sure. GZA in general, again, I cannot stress this enough. I cannot stress this enough, is that they are just not playing as a team. They're not forming any sort of combinations as far as raw abilities are concerned. The only thing that we're really seeing combinations for are the Nano Blade. I mean, throw self-destruct in the air and combo it along with the Primal Rage. Do anything. And take a look at some of these highlights here. Look at all of this space and all these eliminations that Ming is just finding. He is just giving way too much space.
Yeah.
You can't let a Doomfist get away with
Look at
this.
this.
Are you kidding me?
Look at this. He
Just
can't
in
keep
his-
getting away with this.
He might as
but
well have
he
been a part. He might as well have been a part of GZA Academy the entire time. He was just living in the backline. There's no reason whatsoever that you shouldn't have been bringing a Brigitte or some sort of stun lock to deal with this accordingly. Playing out for the Nano Blade every single time doesn't matter. And I know what you're laughing at too, because even when Mui did come out onto the Brigitte, missed two shield bashes in sequence of each other onto the Doomfist. So maybe that's probably why, and maybe that's why you saw them playing for the Nano Blade, but it doesn't look good. They walked away with the series, but at the end of the day, they're not walking away with it as decisively as we had wanted them to, because again, this is GZA Academy. We want them to do as well as they appear to do so. But when you're getting taken away from awkward compositions like a single tank OR-15A, Orisa composition, I mean, come on. Something's got to give here.
And to add to that, like we you know, when it comes to this team, we talked last week about how Flag lost a map to TFV, and there was a very good reason for that. Pilly was a new pickup. He was like brand new to this team, and you know, didn't have much resources, and we saw that fixed when TSL played, you know, last week, I guess, or yesterday against BTRG. Right, this is a team that learned from their mistakes. For GZ Academy, though, they're making the same mistakes rather week in, week out, and it genuinely feels like we're watching a team that's not progressing, that's not really, you know, learning, and that's one of the most frustrating things, right? Because it's one thing to struggle early on the season, because it is like that sometimes, right? You have a lot of players that are from different areas that have to relearn how to communicate with each other and so on. But you can see that raw talent is there. Nero, Tizzy, Century, and Rise, all these players played fantastically.
Overwatch League caliber players, you know, every one of those players that we have just listed have touched Overwatch League. I mean, I'm sure Nero hasn't seen any stage time, same with Only Wish, but and Tizzy, in fact. But you know, Tizzy got brought in by London Spitfire in stage 1, so you got to think that this main tank has some sort of backing, and we have seen it inside this matchup and in previous matchups at that, how strong this main tank can be. I just want to see more of it. I want to see the driving of this dive composition come through, especially setting up Mui. We saw in Horizon and Colony, if set up properly, if the space is given and uncontested, headshots will come through. Even cleanup, body shots are fine as long as there are eliminations coming across the board from combining a good jump from Winston, defense matrix from MG, and a dash reset from Nero. I know it sounds so foreheadish when I say it like that, but that's just dive at the end of the day. Hardly any 3-3 was shown from GZA outside of the control map today. And that's
even when they played it was not very. If I had to sum up this match in a sentence, it's TFE playing a suboptimal comp as a team, and GZ Academy playing suboptimally and in solo queue. You know, often like on Watchman Gibraltar was Nero and Only Wish as a duo, and then Tizzy as a solo, and then everyone else was kind of just existing. The same thing could be said for previous maps. GZ Academy just not up on the same page, and it's showing in their gameplay. They did get the victory here today, but man, was it messy. Man, was it awkward. And realistically, it wasn't very smooth. So I you know, for GZ Academy, you're running out of time. You get a victory here, but at what cost?
Yeah.
The cost is definitely at the end of not getting the 4-0, if we're speaking bluntly, because getting that last map score would have been actually huge. All things considered, our next match, sorry to take this away from you, Rien, is actually you know, Team CC Shanghai Dragon Me's Academy versus Lucky Future, and that's the team that GZA need to keep their closest eye on. If they want to make playoffs at the end of this road, of this Week 5 road, it's Lucky Future that's going to beat them out on it.
Yeah.
And Lucky Future's already beat Team CC, so you know this team is clearly capable of winning.
And Team CC beat GZA, so
yeah,
that is true. That's the circle of life, I'm pretty sure. But we will be thrown to a break. Do not go anywhere, because we're going to bring you that match we just talked about. Team CC versus Lucky Future. Be back.